Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be checking out how Suspect from Active Gang was located in Kenya, and I want you to remember that Kenya was a British colony and we just had the King and Queen visit Kenya last year. I think it's November 2023 they were here, so you should see how strong the ties are. And yeah, basically that's how he got, so let's get it.
Little did he know the authorities were hot on his trail as a result of his reckless posting on social media. By 2022, Suspect had been on the run for 2 years and 4 months, seemingly building an entire new life for himself in Kenya. It would appear that while on the run, Suspect met a woman in Kenya named Halima and got married. He would shout her out in the track Final Moments on Suspicious Activity, and they would even have a son together. Suspect's son was named Arif, after co-conspirator in the culprit murder who didn't manage to get away, Armed Response. Footage would even surface showing Suspect on a jailhouse FaceTime call with AR, showing him his new son who bore the same first name. Other pictures would circulate, appearing to show Suspect with his face fully on show, wearing an Active Gang hat, with fans calling this the stupidest thing they'd ever seen, with others analysing the scenery in the picture and working out that he was in Mombasa, Kenya. Mombasa is a coastal city in southeastern Kenya with a population of 900,000 people, a popular travel destination for its beautiful beaches. It would appear that Suspect was living a normal life and literally taking beach vacations within Kenya. Rather than living like he was on the run and keeping moving in the face of the authorities and Reddit detectives' attempts to locate him, even once the internet had worked out he was in Kenya, Suspect must have thought no one was looking for him 2 years after the crime. Or perhaps he was simply unaware of the extradition treaty between the UK and Kenya. Extradition is the formal process where one country asks another to return a person in order for them to stand trial and serve a sentence. And the UK has such treaties with over 100 countries around the world, including Kenya. Notably missing from that list is Somalia. It still baffles me to this day why Suspect didn't choose Somalia along with SY and Reeks, who to this day have still never been caught. But perhaps that was the plan before Suspect met his wife and had a son in Kenya. Or perhaps he just liked Kenya better and he never believes that the Camden police would ever bother coming to find him. Suspect had built a life for himself and settled down in Kenya, but this would ultimately be his downfall. 2022 was supposed to be Suspect's year. In January, he's tweeting prolifically, teasing his upcoming debut album Suspicious Activity, and taking an abrupt break from Twitter after January the 21st with a final motivational tweet reading, "Everything you need is out there, go get it." Perhaps the Metropolitan Police themselves had read that tweet, because only 5 days later, after an astounding 898 days after the murder of culprit, on the 26th of January 2022, both Suspect and Swavy were arrested in the early hours of the morning in Nairobi, Kenya, the country's capital. They were charged with the murder of Alex Smith, aka Culprit, after an international arrest warrant had been issued and executed. They were arrested by the transnational and organized crime detectives with the help of the local detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, aka DCI Kenya, with the whole process being coordinated by the ODPP, International Cooperation, Extradition and Mutual Legal Assistance Division. They tracked both of them down to Nairobi's upmarket Kilimani area, where they had been staying since sneaking into Kenya in 2019. Swavy was located at the Aldar Apartments, where police used smoke bombs to conduct a dramatic raid, while Suspect was located in his residence at house number A308 in Medea Gardens. The two locations are only about 2.5 kilometers away from each other, about a 7-minute drive. Director DCI George Kinoti said after the arrests that Kenya will not be a safe haven for fugitives and warned any other suspect hiding that their days are numbered, saying outright, "If you commit a crime, be ready to face the law. We will smoke you out." With DCI Kenya announcing the dramatic arrests on their Twitter account and posting pictures of Suspect and Swavy the moments they were busted, as well as photos of a dagger that Suspect was found in possession of upon arrest, along with a fake Somalian ID card in the name of Abdullahi Absir Mohammed. Following the arrests, more details would soon emerge of their sloppy attempts to hide out. The pair apparently had gained entry to Kenya on visitors' visas, which they never renewed, meaning that they were considered illegals in the country. After being arrested, it was reported that Suspect's wife and lawyer were due to hold a press conference, where Halima and the lawyer representing both Suspect and Swavy, as well as Swavy's sister, came out to say that they believed that they had been killed in police custody, since the police had refused any communications with the suspects following the arrest.
I believe in all these lives, not everybody was just a fan. Some people might have been cops. They were watching him. And even, you know, the small details. This is somebody who's like super smart to check like the background. I believe feds were watching the lives, and maybe some of them even called us fans, you know. That's crazy. Kilimani is like a posh estate. It's not like super rich, but you know, if you got some coins, yeah, you can live. The neighborhood is really good.
It's been very emotional.
While numerous pictures of Suspect had circulated which Reddit commenters suggested had located him to the country of Kenya, this particular picture is actually the one that some say led Kenyan police to their exact location. This was a photo showing both Suspect and S-Wavy in the basement of a popular shopping mall only 15 minutes away of where they were caught. This is the AdLife Plaza in the heart of Kilimani in Nairobi, with comments suggesting that the pair would have looked completely out of place in Kenya wearing Trapstar and Nike Tech tracksuits, popular amongst London gang members.
And that's very true, because if he really wanted to blend in, he would have just came and worn like regular sweatpants, just like how people dress out here, and nobody would have paid him much attention except for like his accent, you know. But damn.
Gang members. One commenter even claimed to have spoken to the mall security who recognized the pair and said that they stood out and that he thought that they were American gangsters. Even going on to claim that this particular mall is extremely secure with only one entrance and a strict search policy with 2 security guards. While others suggested that Suspect and S-Wavy had actually been out partying in nightclubs regularly and telling people who they were. This is likely the Club Gemini that's literally located at the top of this very shopping mall. Ultimately, the chase was finally over, and Suspect would now be in police custody. No more nightclubs, no more studio, and no more IG lives. Or so you'd think, as despite being denied communication with both his wife and his lawyer, Suspect would seemingly still manage to access a phone and communicating with friends on the outside world, ultimately FaceTiming his friends back home to show them the luxury Kenyan jail experience he was having, where he was still allowed to have KFC delivered.
Show them yourself. You got KFC.
However, the finger-licking highlight of the Kenyan
Did you hear how Brode got excited? He got KFC. That was not like a real Kenyan jail. Those Kenyan jails are pathetic. I'm telling you from experience. I've done a story in a Kenyan jail, and Kenyan cells do not look like that. I guess that's just one of the rooms they were holding him in the, you know, the DCI headquarters. It was just a room. Yeah, that's definitely not a Kenyan cell.
Of the Kenyan prison system sadly wouldn't last, and soon after, photos would emerge depicting Suspect during the extradition process. On Sunday the 30th of January 2022, the pair would be brought back to the UK, and updated mugshots for both would be released, and they would appear at Westminster Magistrates Crown Court on Monday the 31st of January, being remanded in custody, set to appear at prominent British court the Old Bailey on Wednesday the 2nd of February in connection to the murder of culprit. On the 2nd of February, S-Wavy would appear in court at the Old Bailey via video link from Wandsworth Prison, while Suspect did not attend due to illness. Judge Alexi Duran set a plea hearing for the 20th of April and remanded the defendants into custody. However, it would seem that even in the face of his capture, extradition, and charges, Suspect had no plans to put his music career on hold. In a since-deleted Instagram post put up around this time, Suspect's management confirmed that they had been given access to his social media accounts. In a bold-faced post stating, due to unforeseen circumstances, unfortunately Suspect has been arrested. As we all know, Suspect is innocent and will be back in due time. This post was ultimately an announcement that his debut album would be releasing on February the 6th, 2022. And when the 6th came, fans would receive a 12-track album titled Suspicious Activity. The project came with features from fellow AG members Broad Day, as well as his co-defendant S-Wavy, and Suspect himself even promoted the album in a call from jail.
Suspect AGB. Suspicious Activity out now on all platforms.
The album was an impressive body of work, despite its brutal content. It would open in cinematic fashion with an intro track that had a narrator describing the dog-eat-dog environment in the streets of Camden that Suspect hailed from. In the verse, Suspect once again references kids' nursery rhymes, comparing his murdered ops to Humpty Dumpty. On the track Final Moments, Suspect seems to poke fun at culprit and his death, despite his extradition and the outstanding charges. On Freedom's Priceless, Suspect says that he's playing hide and seek with Trident, the organised crime unit of the London Met Police, a game which ironically, by the time the album released, he had duly lost. On the track Z to A, Suspect once again flexes his lyrical abilities, using his verse to make references to things starting with the letter Z and working his way back to A throughout the song, and rapping that despite the fact he was in jail, missing his GCSE examinations in high school, he's still educated enough to write a song with a backwards A to Z structure. It also had the song Caught in the Rain, which went on to become one of Suspect's most streamed tracks. The song had a catchy hook where Suspect raps that he celebrates when his ops die and grieve, and reveling in the fact that he kills people and still makes songs, and bragging about how he hit the charts with a song all about guns, a reference to Double Tap with Fredo, charting at number 73 on the UK singles charts. It also came with gritty bars about his shank plunging in and out of ops' chests, and he would rap Free Armed Response, who was that getaway driver for Culprit's murder who had already got life in prison, likely not realising that by the time this song was released, he would be facing the very same charges. Ironically later, rapping how he got rid of his phone in an effort not to be tracked, like his co-defendant. In the second verse, he compares himself to Lil Durk, going on to describe his disturbing mindset, saying that he's infatuated with drill and that if you flip his kill switch, he will send people to hell, and claiming that he feels nothing when he does this because the streets turned him into a soldier. The album did somewhat well, at one point being number 12 on the Apple Music Top Albums, but it did not chart on the official UK albums charts. And despite not attracting mainstream success, the album did become a cult classic amongst UK drill fanatics, with followers on Reddit describing it as the greatest UK drill album of all time. The cult following of Suspect and his legal issues meant that he would rack up millions of spins on the album over the course of 2022. Unconfirmed reports claimed that by December of 2022, the album had sold nearly 11,000 units, with the suggestion that this would be the equivalent of around £100,000. As UK Drill's Snapchat pages joked that he would be able to buy unlimited Oreos and tins of tuna with his commissary. Meanwhile, commenters would suggest that 100,000 goes towards the best available lawyers, as despite achieving glory through music and evading the police for over 2 years, the end result was still Suspect in handcuffs, sitting in jail and awaiting trial for the murder of Culprit. And considering the fact that he had spent the last 2 years believing that he would never be caught rapping recklessly about how he was responsible for 2 murders, these charges would prove impossible to beat. However, Suspect would end up sitting in jail, awaiting trial for over a year, and in the meantime, other members of Active Gang would continue to wage war in the streets and racking up serious charges.
That Reddit account that people say snitched on Suspect, the name was Matako ya Umbwa. That means a dog's ass. Yeah? You're an ass for snitching on him. Why couldn't you just keep your investigation skills to yourself? Now look what you did. His Suspect stayed low-key. Without all the social media postings and the lives and the pictures on vacation, he would still be out here, you know, but it is what it is. We love his music still. I believe he has some music coming out soon, and you know I'm gonna be reacting to that. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.